What's going on, Chicago, and welcome to another edition of Bare Minimum, 4-Star Chicago Sports. I am Bears on Brandon Duplessis. That is the crafty Dustin Jones. Dustin, how you feel?
I'm good. What up? What's up, Bears fans?
Oh,
Got a lot to get into tonight, huh?
yeah, living the dream. Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of a camp report, guys. As always, we're going to preview this game on Sunday with the Miami Dolphins, and we're going to tell you some possible storylines to look out for. Also, I just read a piece of very negative news, but we'll talk about that a little bit too.
And if me and Brandon yell at each other, just know that's just a fake anger that happens when you're competing with friends. Some fake anger tonight on the bare minimum.
It's just fake. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into that.
It's fine.
We're gonna dive into the answer to that question a little bit too, because that could have been a what the fuck of the week, honestly. All that more, guys, right after this. What's going on, everybody? I want to thank you again for joining us, guys, on the Bare Minimum. Hang out with us for the next hour and a half as we break down some of the Bears from today and yesterday, and the preceding Sunday preseason showdown with the Miami Dolphins.
Jesus Christ, you trying to do tongue twisters to yourself?
I lost my
preceding preseason.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to say what's up to John, Vizzo Joe, Breaking News, Bruce, and the Bear Review. Hey, man, what's going on, man? Glad to see you back. Thanks, guys. Thanks for already joining us, guys. Hit that like button if you will, Dustin. I think
his name is Walt, if I remember correctly. Walt.
Walt. Yeah, it was Walt. You did announce that on the show. Real quick, guys. I just read this now. Apparently, this article is almost 15 hours old.
You're so fucking late, Brandon.
Hey, you got work to do, man. A girl named Beth Elmore wrote an article, but she really paraphrases or actually quotes verbatim a gentleman named Jeff Hughes, who writes for the Bears blog. I'm not familiar with this, guys. I just want to say this. All credit. This is not word of mouth. This is from somebody else. I'm not. This is.
Just get into it, man. Yeah, we got you. Let's hear it.
All right. Jeff Hughes writes. During an August 5th appearance on Sports Mockery Bears Film Room, the Bears blog, Jeff Hughes said he's hearing it's a long shot that Jalen Johnson. There's so many Johnsons on this fucking team. The Jalen
Johnsons for you. You want more Johnsons.
Everybody's jealous of our Johnsons. Everybody's jealous of our Johnsons, bro. Fuck off, by the way. Oh, it's a long shot that Jalen Johnson will play in week 1, guys. Then he follows up with the injury is more serious than they thought. I don't think he's going to touch the field at all until practice leading up to week 1. And he added, they have certainly not ruled out putting him on the PUP list, guys. This typically means 4 weeks without, or you come back week 5. He writes here, missing.
Well, it has to be 4 weeks once you put him on there.
He wrote here, they're not ruling out putting him on PUP, missing the first couple of weeks. I mean, couple by every measure of the word at this juncture in our society means 2. So I don't know.
You could just say pup, the pup list, Brandon, because PUP sounds weird, but yeah, the pup list.
All right, man. You shove the PUP list up your ass. All right. But yeah, guys, so again, not my words. I'm reading somebody who I'm not familiar with, but that is a big deal. We talked about Scott Daly, and rightfully so, Dustin. You brushed me off.
We don't need to talk about Scott Daly. We don't need to talk about Scott Daly, Brandon. Brandon, I can't tell if you froze or if I froze. One of the many awesome factors. Oh, that was you.
I think I keep this loaded.
One of the many awesome, aspects of Zoom type shit like this. But yeah, man, listen, it is.
Give me keep going. That's not
yeah, you sound like shit. It's a big deal, I think. I mean, I've been saying, and I'll continue to say, that Jalen Johnson is not a guy that I'm worried about in terms of getting practice reps in training camp. If there's a guy to pick on this Bears roster that you're least worried about when it comes to that, I would say it's Jalen Johnson. I think the chat probably agrees. But if he ends up on a pup list, again, I don't know where this is coming from. You just brought this up to me tonight right before we got on. that does become concerning because you're talking about missing the first 4 weeks of the season potentially, or the first 3. And I mean, you're talking about facing Justin Jefferson in that time, Amon-Ra St. Brown in that time, CeeDee Lamb in that time. Those are some tough matchups. And then you're probably looking at Tyreek Stevenson being the guy taking those matchups on, when you'd feel a lot more comfortable with Jalen Johnson being that guy with Tyreek on the other side. I hope this is erroneous, and I hope that Jalen Johnson is on the schedule that the Bears have said in terms of being back for week 1. But if he's not, and he ends up on that list, the PUP list, it becomes slightly concerning for sure.
Well, like I said, man, all the injuries up until this point, everybody's kind of, even Jalen Johnson's injury, everybody's kind of treated with it. It'll get better. But if this impacts the regular season, guys, this is your best football player on your team, without a doubt.
Yeah, right now, today, yes, I would say so.
That, I mean, this is the Bengals losing fucking Joe Burrow, man. This is a big deal for the Chicago Bears.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
This is a big deal. This is a big deal for the Bears because A, Jalen Johnson's their best football player, but B, Dustin, they're wondering what's going on with their CB2 position right now. So I mean,
I want to be clear.
You don't want to be replacing the guy who means most to you while also concerning yourself with who's going to play the position on the other side of the field, because whoever's going to be the DB2 is the best of the bunch. And if he moves over to 1, that means the third place guy is now filling in for the role of whoever's supposed to be there. So, yeah. And I don't know that Tyreek Stevenson can handle the Justin Jeffersons of this league, man. I really don't.
Few points to make. Few points to be made. First point is, I don't know how legit any of what you're saying is, and where the guy you're saying that you're citing it from, I've never heard of.
Yeah, me neither, man. That's why I pointed.
So, like, if it comes out from Schefter or somebody like that, like, then I would give it more credence, because those guys don't put shit out there unless they know that it's legit. So, I mean, I want to say that first of all. I mean, I have no reason to believe that Jalen Johnson won't be ready for week 1 until I hear otherwise from a very reliable source. Secondly, I made the point last week when we were talking about Jalen Johnson being out that, like, you get these guys in here that get to get really important reps, like Nahshon Wright, Terrell Smith, Tyreek Stevenson. And that makes your depth stronger. I'm not so worried about Jalen Johnson coming back and being in, playing form, like he's ready to roll, because he's a professional, and I think he keeps himself in shape and ready to go as much as he can, dealing with the injury. So I think you're building up some depth and getting some really crucial, reps for these guys that might not have gotten as many. So I think that just makes you stronger welcome back, Brandon. I think that just makes you stronger when Jalen Johnson does finally come back. But I liked this right here from the Bear Review saying, why do I feel better with Stevenson shadowing those guys? That's because Stevenson has shown, I think, that he has the strength to be that man-to-man guy and take on any challenge. And I mean, I think he's up for that challenge. I don't think the sky's falling if Jalen Johnson were to end up on a PUP list. Again, not saying that I know that will be the case, and I don't think it will. But if he were to, I like Tyreek in that role. And if Terrell Smith on the other side of him or Nahshon Wright are getting those reps, it's not as bad as we would make it out to be. But Jalen Johnson obviously is the best cornerback.
We're talking about losing the best player in the football team.
Jalen Johnson is the best cornerback on this football team, and
we're going to hear in the NFL broadcast, if we don't have Jalen Johnson, man, whoever it is, Terrell Smith, whoever's on that side, we're going to hear throughout the broadcast the quarterback's picking on this guy. They're going to mention Jalen Johnson's not on the field 100 times. Every time that guy allows a catch, and it's going to happen frequently, man, because nobody.
But I think Tyreek will handle himself well in that role, man.
I think Stevenson will. I'm talking about the person that then replaces.
I understand, but you got Terrell Smith who would get some valuable reps there and has shown himself to be a solid guy. I mean, obviously I'm not as confident in him as Jalen Johnson. Like, that's not even close. So I understand your point. I'm just saying that it doesn't tank your first 4 games if Jalen Johnson were to miss those. That's what I think they could still find a way to be competitive, especially the way the Bears have approached this entire offseason with this competition and with everybody earning what they need to get and real depth being strengthened here on this team. I think it could end up being a blessing in disguise potentially. But I expect Jalen to be here because I have no reason not to think that as of right now. What's being reported, as far as I know, and what's being said by the Bears, is that they do expect him back for week 1. And we still got
I
Kyler
hope
Gordon
so,
too,
man.
as John
And
S.
I know
points
that
out
there's
here.
two ways to look at everything, but I cannot convince myself to believe, man, if they lose their best football player, it's not going to have an impact on
They're clearly
maybe
not.
possibly losing one of the first 4 games they play. He makes that kind of
They're
impact.
clearly not a better team. They're clearly not a better team without Jalen Johnson. Like that, I don't think anybody's going to argue that, Brandon. I'm just saying they could still find ways to win and be competitive. And you got a tough couple of. I mean, you're starting out with the Vikings and the Lions.
This is the NFL. People get injured, and I understand it's next man up.
And with
It's
Jalen
just
Johnson, you could lose
the
2 out
next
of your
man
first
up.
4.
It's tough. It's tough to fill those shoes for whoever the next man up might be, man. And that's probably going to be Stevenson. But listen, man,
with
I don't.
Jalen Johnson, Brandon, they could still end up losing 2 or 3 of those first 4.
We respect that. We respect all opinions here, Dustin. But the Bear Review and I think maybe he said both comments. Somebody said he's a tad overrated.
That's the Bear Review. He was acknowledging that there might be some bias there because he thinks Jalen Johnson is.
Well, he likes Tyreek. I know the Bear Review likes Tyreek Stevenson like me and you do. I mean, I think he's aware that this guy can be something special in this defense, man. But Jalen Johnson has put blood, sweat, and tears on the field for this football team, man. He has played through really bad seasons. He's tired of the shit. He wants to win, and he's going to keep challenging himself to be the best player at his position in the NFL. I haven't seen that from Tyreek Stevenson. I've seen nothing close to it. I've seen him look like he has the ability to play at the NFL level. Tyreek Stevenson is not going to stop being a concern of mine until he shows he's just that dude, man. It's just what it is for me with him. Same with Montez Sweat.
I would have confidence in him
taking
over. I would have confidence in him taking over the number 1 cornerback role if he had to for a limited period of time. Now, obviously, again, I don't feel better about this defense than I would with Jalen Johnson on the field. He's the best player on this defense. He is. So, like, you need that guy on the field. And hopefully this is all just bullshit. We're talking about it for no fucking reason. But it's worth, I guess, talking about considering, like, what if he isn't back? What is the Bears' plan there? And I mean, I think you're going to see it this week.
I think it would be
against the Dolphins.
I think it would be Terrell Smith before Nahshon Wright. I honestly believe that. I don't know. Nahshon Wright seems to be getting favored by the coaches, but I don't understand why you wouldn't start seeing what you got.
Terrell Smith is listed as your backup second cornerback, and Nahshon Wright is listed as your backup number 1 cornerback. So I mean, Nahshon would probably step into that role. The way it looks, the way the Bears have listed the depth chart. So, I mean, we'll see what it's going to look like this Sunday in a limited capacity, but we'll see it and we'll be able to assess, is it worth a damn? These guys need to get the reps at the very least while they have the chance to get them.
At least Hughes did at least give us some sort of a timeline, right? He said if this guy's not practicing until the week leading up to the regular season, he's not playing. So I think we could, if we're not seeing Jalen back on the field sooner rather than later, man, in practice here and during these preseason games, can probably assume he's going to at least miss week 1. I would imagine if he's not practicing until the week of. I don't know. Jalen's the kind of guy that might be able to plug right in, man. I don't know.
But then you consider coming off the injury, how long does it take him back to get to like 100%?
That's what I mean.
Form.
If he's not
even if he's back week
leading
1
up to the season, he might not play. Yeah, and
if he might play and not be
fucked up.
Yeah, not be at 100% like physicality. So like that matters too, because then you're going to get beat more often. And Bear Review says Wright has been showing up at camp. Plus Smith isn't the greatest man cornerback. Yeah, I mean, he was drafted to be in a cover 2 system. So, I mean, like, and that was his strength, I believe, in college as well. So, like, I do think Tyreek will shine in this a more aggressive defense, more so than most anybody else on this defense. I do believe that. And, I mean, if he gets that opportunity, then you'll have your answer, Brandon, at the very least. If he's the guy matching up against Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb in those first couple of weeks, like,
that's what I'm saying. He's going to get tested. And listen, in regards to Terrell Smith, I think Terrell Smith has the ability to be one of those players that takes the ball away. That's why I like Terrell Smith. I think he could be a playmaker more than just a lockdown corner. His first snap as an NFL DB, man, he stripped the ball and recovered it himself. That guy, he's capable of making plays, and he hits hard. He plays like a safety. To be honest with you, Bear Review, Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith remind me very much of one another. They do. They're aggressive guys. They're big
I
guys.
don't.
They play like
I don't see
safeties.
it.
They hit hard.
I don't see that.
They're both
But
kind of chippy.
it's
Terrell
okay.
Smith was a little chippy last year, talking a little bit. It looked like, I don't know. They remind me of one another.
Terrell Smith's movement and coverage is nowhere near as fluid to me, and stick with it as Tyree Stevenson's is.
I just mean that they're both.
No.
They play like strong safeties, man. That's what they play at the corner position. That's how those guys kind of play. Super aggressive, want to hit you hard. You know what I mean? Jalen Johnson does not play that kind of football. He really doesn't. The last time Jalen Johnson put somebody down hard, he helped him get back up.
Cliff says on the injury front. Cliff says good to hear Kmet was back at practice. Yeah, that is a good thing. You definitely want to see both those tight ends out there. That's going to be very important to this offense. And Kmet's never missed a game, so
yeah, I'm waiting, guys. Hopefully,
I'm sure he wants to keep that going.
Hopefully, we get a Shamar Turner update soon here, man. I'd like
you got any Scott Daly updates?
I already told you. He's
probably
he's probably gonna miss some time, man, in the regular season. That's what it sounded like the last time I read it. That's what it sounded like.
John says cornerback might be the deepest position on the team. Cliff says Detroit wishes they had the cornerbacks the Bears have. I think Detroit has a very solid secondary. Yeah, very
What's
solid
up, Cliff?
secondary.
Thanks for joining.
Cliff, thank you for being here. Guys, hit that like button if you have not already. Just speaking about Detroit, since Cliff brought him up, I mean, did you see that report today that Detroit's looking their transition from Ben Johnson to Morton is not going as smooth as they would like?
Yeah, I was talking about that on Monday. I was talking about that on Monday, man. When I looked at camp struggles and it listed players, John Morton was the name on the Detroit struggle. it was the OC.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been in a not hating on the Lions. I actually root for the Lions. I like this line. I like this Lions team.
I don't root for the Lions.
I do. There's just like you do the Niners, man. My grandfather lived and breathed the Lions. So I watched Lions games growing up. The Lions were on sometimes when I was over at hanging out with the family. But I just Detroit in general, man. I kind of support where my grandparents came from. But I don't dislike the Lions. I'll say that. All right. And I've been preaching this all off season to people that this John Morton is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
The way they're reporting it is that they're having some concerns about if it's going to be anywhere close to the offense. I mean, listen, we'll have to see it on the field. I think Detroit still has very good players on offense.
Tim Patrick was also
on the scheme.
Not having a good camp.
Well, I mean, they got Tesla there now, so I mean, I think he's the guy that stands out as that third receiver after Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, certainly in the slot. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Tim Patrick's just a jag. He's just a guy in the league, and that's what he's been. So I guess that makes sense. But Detroit has very real reasons to be concerned, having lost their two coordinators, and I just thought that was worth bringing up. That they're having a little bit of trouble transitioning this offense without Ben Johnson. And I mean, this Bears
that should have been expected, Dustin. That should have been expected, right? Nobody should have thought the transition for the Lions without their two play callers on both sides of the ball was going to be a fucking walk in the park. I mean, I expected struggles. I do. I expect everybody should for the Lions, but I expect that Morton's a bigger problem than struggles. Like
Dan Campbell could be taking over play calling in the middle of the season. Struggles.
Yeah, and they could be hiring a new offensive coordinator as early as next season. Struggles.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll see how that goes for Detroit. That would be great for the Bears.
Yeah, and it would probably be great for. Listen, man, there was a lot of available people. We talked about this. There was guys out there that I thought could have been given that promotion to offensive coordinator before I brought John Morton back as a play caller. I thought a guy like Josh McCown, or Brian Greasy. Yeah. I thought they deserved a look at OC before that guy got a job, man. But anyways, Dustin, let's talk about that Caleb Williams, the question and answer that we heard around the world today. Because you
as soon as I saw it, I texted.
I was scrolling Facebook as you texted that. Your text came up at the top of my phone and then went away, the notification. I was literally rolling over it on Facebook, watching it. It auto played, and I was like, I didn't have, because of the message you sent with it. I was like, this is what Dustin just sent me, without a doubt. Because that answer.
Yeah, I said, is it just me, or is this a very weird answer to this question? Yeah. Caleb seemed very strange. Like that was the most like he couldn't really get it out. Like he had troubles talking about it. It felt like he was like stumbling over his words. He never really does
he kept
that.
Repeating himself.
It felt like the most disingenuous thing that I've ever heard Caleb Williams say. And I could just be reading into it too much, but it was very strange. Very strange to call it fake anger.
He said Buddy's competing like 47 times, dude. I mean,
yeah.
Whenever you start doing that,
he explained to us what the drill was they were doing, as if we didn't already know what the drill was that they were doing.
Well, I think he just did that poorly. I think he was trying to say that like it's more than just a drill is in practice. It's a drill that the teammates use as like a who's the best, you know. So I don't know. Like I get
it, but like he was explaining, like, yeah, you're clearly trying to throw it as fast as possible, as accurate as possible. With that's very clear from watching the video.
Let's talk about what John says, because this is what you said before when we first kicked this off, and this is what is fake anger, Caleb?
Yeah,
like you were frustrated visibly.
Fucking own it. Just own it. Yeah, dude, we
want to know.
And I was pissed off.
I want to know you're frustrated.
I threw a bit of a fucking tantrum. I'm going to do better next time. But like to call it fake anger, like he said this. He said, there's actually a thing in the quarterback room where when we lose a competition, we got to do something silly or some shit like that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? That's the first thing that Caleb Williams has said where I was like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? I couldn't make heads or tails of that shit, bro.
Well, and fake, I don't know. When he reacted in that drill, he was visibly mad. And
yeah, and that's okay.
As a fan of that quarterback who just did that, because it was, I mean, there's a reason that went viral, man. It was bad. You missed the net. You missed the net entirely. So, like, when I see that, I want my quarterback to be pissed off about that. I'd be pissed off. I don't want him to say fake. I want to come out and say, yeah, I was pissed. Did you see that? Did you see the video? Of course I'm pissed. Like, I missed the net. Yeah, own that shit. Tell him you're pissed off. Tell him you're frustrated, and you're gonna make it better next time. You're never gonna miss the net again. Tell him some shit like that, man. I had a boss that told me once, "Don't ever tell me you apologize. Just tell me you won't do it again." So, like, that's I'd rather hear that.
It's strange. Like, and he points out that was the one thing, and that's the way it goes with Caleb right now. It's like everything that's negative gets the biggest play, and that's starting to frustrate him. You could see that, and that's understandable. He's a human being, and that would frustrate you or me as well if only our negative shit was being shown to everyone. Like just how bad when you fucked up at work versus all the good shit you've done. And Caleb is doing a lot of good shit, and he wants acknowledgement for that too. And he'll get it once he earns it in the regular season. This shit will go away, but it's there. It's on film for us to see, man. And like it's okay to just say, yeah, I was upset. I overreacted, but like I want to be the best. And when I mess up, I get upset, and that's what helps me get better. Like to call it fake anger was just strange. Like these weird like justifications for it that really didn't line up or make sense. And yeah, we should defend our quarterback. And Cliff's doing that. He says it's great seeing even Caleb get some competition. Caleb has so many other superior qualities besides throwing a ball into a net. It's not that big of a deal. For sure, which is why the answer just felt weird. Like you don't need to justify yourself to us, man.
And the answer
do your fucking thing.
And the answer was strange, but again, I'm glad that he got angry. I'm glad that he turned around and pumped his fists in rage. Like, yeah, that was bad, bro. I don't care how quickly you need to release the ball or if you get the laces or not. Hit the fucking net, dude. Like, I mean, come on, you're like 8 yards away from it, bro.
And there was the one that came out right after it. There was the one that
came
out right after it where he was a little farther away and just fucking nailing it. He hit the ball boy. He hit the ball boy in the face. Like he was just nailing it so fast. Yeah. So like we know you can do it, Caleb. No, I don't think anybody's judging you for it. At least not the real fans that are watching and using their brains when it comes to like what's happening to Caleb right now. He's obviously getting shit on by a faction of media and fans that want to be right about the fact that he shouldn't have been the guy in the first place. Like we know what's happening. So they're gonna jump on the negative shit and they're gonna bury the positive shit. And it's a little bit of both. He's a young quarterback learning a new system for the first time. It's gonna be a little bit of both, and that's okay. I just thought the answer was weird, man. I'm not holding against Caleb, but I'm gonna call it like I see it. And I thought the whole answer was just felt strange the entire time. Like, dude, you don't have to justify this. At least in my mind, it felt off. I felt out of character for Caleb.
You said something that I want to focus on, man. You said that you can tell the voices are starting to get to him. Ryan Clark, who I can't believe I'm even quoting, but like he said something that I agree with. He said the pressure on Caleb in week 1 is so tremendous. He said that if he comes out and loses, he's doomed, and he's right. People are waiting for him to fail. If he comes out
doomed is
this is what he said. No, but hold on. This is the spin he put on it for me to convince me that like, oh yeah, this is going to be a problem.
It was for you especially. Yeah.
One quarterback from that draft has not yet played a game of football, and if Caleb comes out in week 1 with all the pressure that's already mounted on him because he's got everything that he needs now, and loses to the only quarterback from the same class that didn't get to play a game last year, he's like, that would be bad. But I agree. But what he said,
but there's different scenarios that
Dustin,
happens.
What he said that I agreed with was at the end of all this, he said, what's important is that Caleb, after week 1, win or lose, knows that the only voices that should matter are Ben Johnson's, Declan Doyle's, and RJ Barrett's, and
Caleb's. Yeah.
No, to Caleb. Yeah. The only
I understand, but Caleb's internal dialogue to himself matters.
And he said, and you should drown everything else out. And that was well split because like that's what Caleb, and it is. I think you're right, man. I think it's starting to bother him.
Man, he's under attack. He clearly is, and like, dude,
look at this.
And that happens.
This blanket is like almost matching the thumbnail on the background, dude. You see that?
Okay,
pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you should move it over a little bit.
I know. I tried. I had exalt my energy.
Listen, Caleb could come out in that game and play his ass off, and the Bears still lose because the Vikings are a very good team. And JJ McCarthy in that same game might hand the ball off 35 times. You don't judge Caleb on that because he's not playing against JJ McCarthy. He's playing against the Vikings defense, which is really fucking good. Now, I think the Bears are going to win that game week 1. I really do. I don't think that it's going to be.
Yeah, we haven't gotten your predictions.
A question. Yeah, no, we're going to get them. But that's one that I'm willing to say, right? Like the Bears are going to win that game week 1. And I think what's important is that, yes, Caleb understands that these are the voices that matter. And I think Caleb's voice matters too. Like, I don't want him to start doubting himself. And that's what felt weird about it. It felt like he was like kind of like buying into the hate a little bit, and like kind of doubting himself.
Yeah, like, I suck?
Yeah, like he needs to stay confident in himself. And I think that no matter what happens, if Caleb has confidence that he is doing what he's supposed to do, doing his job and running the offense the way Ben Johnson wants, win or lose, that's what's most important for week 1 to me. I don't know that if they lose, then Caleb is doomed. I don't agree with that because if Caleb plays his ass off and plays really well, runs the offense the way it's supposed to run, then you have something to build on going into the next week, which is what is the most important thing to me.
Cliff asks, how many scouts do you guys think the Bears have at the Vikings camp right now? I don't think your scouts can't visit other camps. I don't believe.
Well, I'm sure they find ways to figure shit out, but I mean, listen, JJ McCarthy's another guy that's having an off season like Caleb, where it's like you see one video and he's the next Patrick Mahomes, and you see another one and he's throwing interceptions because he can't just hit a guy straight in front of him. Like JJ McCarthy has been very up and down as well. It's going to be interesting to see that dynamic play out in week 1, Brandon, and in that matchup. I think that these two quarterbacks in particular in week 1 might have the most pressure on them of any quarterbacks in the league. I think that that's a fair statement to make between JJ McCarthy and Caleb Williams. They're both under a lot.
When Clark did that, man, he did the top 5 the quarterbacks 1 through 5 with the most pressure. He had Caleb at number 1, but his list was good too, man. He had JJ McCarthy on there. I think number 2 was Trevor Lawrence, which I didn't disagree with. He had a pretty good list, but JJ McCarthy was on his list because JJ McCarthy is not only going to a team he's surrounded by talent. This guy is on every level.
It's a team that won 14 or 15 games last year.
That's what Clark said, is this team just won 14 games. I mean, you can't come out here and choke. So
you got a really good roster around you.
And I think Caleb's going to want, I mean, it's natural, man. Caleb's going to want to beat this kid. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he wants to beat everyone every day, but it probably means a little more to him that this quarterback is from his class, the same as all the guys he played last year, like Jaden Daniels.
Cliff, I don't know how worried I'd be about the Dolphins at all this entire season. I think the Dolphins are in for a very rough season, and hopefully the Bears start them out on that path.
They're going to be awful.
Yeah.
J2K,
says anyone worried about
man?
J2K in the building? Hit that like button, brother.
It's been a while, bro.
Vizzo says anyone worried about Darnell Wright getting beat by Sweat and Dom Rob multiple times? I mean, and then
Bear Review about the injury.
Sweat. Darnell Wright leaving early, and I'm blanking on the other guy that left early.
Roschon Johnson didn't participate.
No, it wasn't Roschon. It was a defensive player. It was Darnell and somebody else, man. That Kyler Gordon, was it Kyler Gordon?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So listen, I haven't seen anything reported, so it seems like everything's fine. But like Darnell Wright is a guy that you kind of just take for granted, like this guy's just going to keep getting better and be good. But he's a guy that we don't talk about. If this guy don't live up to expectations, that is a huge fucking miss for this football team and a huge problem in my mind. Darnell Wright needs to be kind of dominating at that right tackle spot, given where he was drafted, the expectations, and the fact that he's going into a year where you should see him take off.
I would make the claim that he needs to be the best offensive lineman on the team.
Well, Joe Tooney is going to be, but
he's aging though.
Darnell Wright should be
stepping into his prime years, man. Not only is he was a top 10 pick at the right tackle position. No, this kid needs to come out and be the fucking boss, Dustin. This guy needs to be the anchor on that line. This needs to be a Penei Sewell situation here.
I agree.
Took this guy with a very high pick and passed up a miracle of talent falling into your lap. Now, I know that I got to let it go, Dustin, and it's hard for the both of us. You passed Jalen Carter to take this kid. Like
talking about it for so long, man. Fuck.
I want to move on, but like now this discussion's brought itself.
Darnell Wright needs to play to the level that allows us to move on, Brandon. Like that's and the reality is like to play better than Jalen Carter in terms at your respective position. That's a hard thing to do. Jalen Carter's really fucking.
And
good.
the Bear Review throws this in here,
and that's not Darnell Wright's fault that he was drafted over Jalen Carter. But this guy should be a top 5 right tackle in the league, and if he's not that this year. That's concerning to me. It is, given where the Bears drafted him and who they drafted him over. Yes,
Dustin, which 2 players did we want in that draft at that pick?
I only wanted Jalen Carter when he was the one available.
No, I mean, but leading up to the draft when we were discussing players, the Bear Review threw it in the comment right here, man. He says.
Verse last year. Yeah, no, I said that when we were at the draft. We did a show that night and we were at the bar, and I was like, I really kind of wish that would have been Verse. I like Roma Dunze, but I wanted Jared Verse the entire time. Yeah, and I liked Verse over Dallas Turner too in that draft. Verse was the guy to me, and
you've neglected to use your first round picks on the defensive side of the football, and you've gone entirely offense. So yeah. Darnell Wright, Dustin, needs to be the shit. No, I won't accept anything less. I mean, this guy needs to be a top 3 player at that position, the right tackle.
I'll take top 5. And the Bear Review says I really wanted Will Anderson that year. Yeah, I mean, but like I didn't feel like he was clearly a top 5 player in the draft. I didn't think that was going. But Jalen Carter seemed to be too, right? He fell because of the off the field shit, and that's why the Bears passed.
Jalen Carter was ranked better than Will Anderson. And
Jalen Carter was the best player in the draft,
and he's going to be like in real life. He is the force that guy will become. And listen, man, we did draft Darnell Wright, and I'm rooting for Darnell Wright. I just need to see. I need to see a step that I need to see him take another stride that we haven't yet seen.
Yeah, the Caleb pick is kind of a given, and the fact that they traded away the pick the year before, and that led to Caleb. I mean, that's all kind of a given. But like when you're talking about a pick for pick, like where who the Bears should have picked at these respective spots, I liked Verse in that 9 spot last year, and I liked Jalen Carter in that 9 spot the year before. I mean, like that's the way I felt about it. The Bears went in the direction they went. I think Roma Dunze is about to have a blow up season. I really do. And I think that conversation will start to dim 100% with the season Rome Odunze is going to have. But we're talking about Darnell Wright, and Darnell Wright, like you said, needs to establish himself as one of the best right tackles in the league in order to make that conversation, go away. That's just the reality.
How do you feel about the fact that Ryan Poles in the last 3 years has taken 4 offensive players in the first round?
Well, so you pointed out that offensive coaches generally take offensive players, so that makes sense for Ben Johnson. And we've talked about how they didn't feel like there was any synergy between Poles and Eberflus. And everybody tells me that we were wrong about that. Everybody in the chat's like, Poles got Flus what he needed. But when you have a defensive head coach, I would imagine it's the same as when you have an offensive head coach.
It's like 74% of the time you draft the player on your side of the ball. It's really high. The percentage is really high.
And Poles wasn't really doing that for Eberflus. So I mean, like, listen, if Darnell Wright established himself as the player that people expect him to be this year, then that's totally fine. Obviously, you take Caleb and Rome, like, you expect that to be your Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison. Like, that's what you're expecting that to be, right? So, like, if that's what that turns into, it makes total sense. You needed to draft a quarterback number 1 last year. So, I mean, the situation played out the way it points out.
And I was thinking this while I was saying it. It is tremendous to me, though, that we've selected 4 offensive players in the last 3 seasons in the first round. That's borderline neglect to me, guys, but seems like rounds 2 through 3 have been heavy defense. And I agree, J2K. I was thinking that while I was saying this, but you're not getting that Jalen Carter in round 2. You know what I mean? You're not, like, where you've been drafting the last few years, as high as you've been drafting, you could have gotten one of the best defenders in the NFL over the last couple of drafts here, man. So multiple times.
Yep.
4 times.
The last two years, you have those examples of Verse and Jalen Carter. Just in the last 2.
And then you have the guy who played alongside Verse, right? Braden Fisk ended up being a stud. He was, and you will see,
second round pick, right?
Yeah, I think so. Just there's been a lot of examples of players, man, that could have altered this franchise on the defensive side of the football that Ryan Poles has chose not to draft, which is, if that's the way you want to load up this offense, you want to finally have a modern day NFL offense. I get it, but players like Darnell Wright need to be coming fucking all pros, man. That's where I stand on it.
John S says 2 punters, 2 defensive ends, and 4 drafts. Yeah, that math don't work. Bear Review says Wright needs to cut the penalties just shy of 20 in 2 years. The pre-snap stuff is a problem.
John, and think of this: 3 left tackles in 3 years. That's a problem. But
yep, and hopefully that problem is being addressed with Ozzie Trapillo. I mean, like, and you're talking about the fact that he's had the first team reps at the left tackle basically this entire week. So leading up and going into this game, you're going to see him as your starting left tackle, right? Is that what we're expecting? So I mean, like, does he establish himself as that guy? They finally maybe got the guy. We don't know until he's playing live. But I mean, if you look at the depth, if you look at the depth chart from the Bears, Braxton Jones is listed as your first string left tackle.
Yeah, Bear. So I don't even the Zach Pickens.
I hated that pick when they made it.
God. I really don't. I can't even. That guy's. I don't think that guy's on the roster when the season starts, guys. Oh, we got.
No, he's definitely not. Yeah,
Brian
I see that. Checks in with the Skull Vikings. Hey man, we got week 1 coming up. No, I've never seen him before. You got the
Ryan, thanks for joining us, man. Please hit that like button. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. That applause is for you. I'm sorry I can't agree with your Vikings fandom, but
we'll be here week 1 for you too, man, and we can check in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, check back in with us.
We try to be as grounded as possible, man. We don't hate on football teams.
We're not as grounded as JJ McCarthy is going to be against the Bears in week 1.
Intentional.
Listen, guys, I hated the Pickens pick when they made it. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't like him as a prospect. I guess
it felt very Bayless Jonesy.
Bear Review liked it. Yeah, we're having a great night, Brian. It's even better now that you checked in, brother. If you got anything you want to talk about, throw it out there. All right. So yeah, I mean, well, I brought up the left tackle thing. We're talking about, I don't remember. We were talking about picks. We were talking about Darnell Wright. Where Darnell Wright is going to establish himself in terms of the right tackles in this league that are dominant, and if he's going to establish himself as one of those guys, and that we need him to. And then I brought up the left tackle spot again. The unofficial depth chart right now from the Bears has Braxton listed as the starting left tackle. What do you think we're going to see on Sunday, Brandon? That just makes me think about that, because from what I keep hearing, Ozzy's getting more first team reps in practice.
Well, I think even if you were going to start Braxton Jones, you would still approach it that way, because you're not going to know if Ozzy's a better player than Braxton unless you're giving him majority of the snaps. You've got a pretty good idea of what Braxton Jones is capable of, Dustin. Like I said, there's that possibility that he reaches a new ceiling. I don't see that happening. I think we know who Braxton Jones is. It's on tape. So if they have Braxton Jones listed on their unofficial depth chart as the starting left tackle, I'd imagine he's going to be the starter. Right, as far as they're concerned right now, he's the starting left tackle. And listen, Ben Johnson said this: I want this dictated before the preseason begins. So there's a possibility whoever comes out in the first play of that game at left tackle is going to be your starting left tackle.
J2K says PR team makes the unofficial depth chart this time of year. I don't put much stock in it. To me, Brandon, if I'm playing a certain guy with the first team reps, the whole practice leading up to that game, the week of that game, that's the guy I'm running with when it's game time. Like that only makes sense to me.
It doesn't sound as if Braxton Jones is going to start at left tackle, but
I don't think he's going to. I mean, listen, if Braxton was going to be the starter, then he would be getting the majority of those first team reps leading up to that game, I think. I mean, we're going to see how it plays out. This is obviously the most intriguing thing about this, to me, about this Bears training camp right now, in terms of who's going to establish themselves as that dude at the left tackle spot. Is anybody going to do it at all? And it's going to be crucial to Caleb Williams' development and season this year.
Yeah, and I'm listening. If I'm being honest, I'm hoping Trapillo is a better player than Braxton Jones, and I'm hoping he's the Bears' starting left tackle, no matter what kind of rookie struggles he might endure throughout the season. But
I was thinking, and I was wondering if they give Ozzy the first team reps, this, because I believe what Ben Johnson said was by the time the second week of preseason ends is when he wants to have it figured out. I thought that's what he said, but I was thinking like Ozzy will lead up this first week, get the first team reps in the game, and then you give Braxton that same shot the following week going into your second preseason game, and that's how you attack that, because you get a fair amount of looking at both leading up to a game situation.
Well, I would probably have the guy who's potentially, they're going to have somebody in mind, Dustin. I mean, it's not going to be a blind draw when the preseason starts. They probably got somebody.
You got to see them
a foot ahead in the race.
You got to see how they prepare for the game and how they do that the week leading into the game. You know what I'm saying? You got to see that from both guys if you're actually trying to choose between the two.
If I'm letting Trapillo start this week, I might let him start week 2 as well, and then let Braxton play that third week, man, when all the guys who they're trying to.
Well, that's not really a competition. Then you're basically saying Ozzy's the guy. In my mind, like, you're not really giving each one a fair shot at the job in that case. So I mean, from what they're saying, Braxton's at 100%. Like, he had a little bit of a ramp up to start training camp, but they expect him to be at 100%.
So you think that if we see Braxton Jones in a week of practice leading up to the second preseason game as the starter, or as
whoever is after that
play in that game,
as the starter, and then from there, like whoever is the guy after that, that's the guy they're rolling with. I mean, again, maybe Ozzy comes out. Maybe Ozzy came out this whole week and is just impressed the hell out of the coaches, and then he does the same thing in Sunday, and they don't even give Braxton that opportunity. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, if you're legitimately trying to see each guy and what they're going to bring to you when shit gets real, like, that's the way I would do it. I would want to see their ramp up and how they work towards the game throughout the week with the ones, and that's how I would make my decision. How they play.
I mean, the left tackle thing, man. I feel like the last few times we discussed the left tackle thing, Dustin, we probably kind of spoken about as best as you can. Ben Johnson's going to find the right guy, and we still don't know if that guy's good enough.
That's been my point.
Johnson will identify who the best
concern
player is.
Still,
yeah,
it's still a concern no matter what. But it's still interesting, and it's still the most intriguing thing happening in this Bears camp to me. And I don't want what I don't want is to look back at this time, in week 9 or week 10, and the Bears are getting their asses kicked and being like, how did we not see this coming when we couldn't decide who our left tackle was until right before the season started? Like this is a legitimate concern, guys, regardless of if we have more depth at the position and more competition, which I do believe are two great things. And all the things we've talked about, the improvements are on that O-line and how that's going to impact whoever that left tackle is. It's still a concerning thing that you don't know who your left tackle is right now. That's still concerning to me.
J2K says Braxton hasn't fully recovered from his pencil legs, and Vizzo Joe says Braxton needs a BBL.
Listen, we know Ben wants the guy
skips leg day. Yeah,
we know Ben wants the guy that has that weight in the ass, that can anchor in pass protection. And if Ozzie showed himself to be that guy, then that's who they're going to roll with.
I'm pretty sure he can anchor.
Yeah, no, and that's what we're looking for as Bears fans. We want the best pass protector to protect the quarterback that we expect to, take this franchise to the next level. So I think we're all kind of hoping Ozzie is the guy, but I keep having this sneaking suspicion that like the Bears could just end up falling back on Braxton because of his experience and their comfort with the fact that he's more of a veteran. I can't shake that feeling.
Well, guys, the Bears play the Miami Dolphins Sunday at noon, preseason week 1. I think, Dustin, from what I saw today, some teams were letting their starters play some substantial time. Some teams left their starters off the field entirely. I'm guessing this Bears team is going to let Caleb Williams play in this football game. I think we're going to see the starters in this football game. I do. Joe Burrow.
I thought it came out that Caleb wasn't going to play.
Did they say that already? I didn't hear it. If they did, I didn't hear that, and I'd be surprised if that's.
I thought I heard somebody say that, man. I listen. I am more interested
in the chat. Let us know if you've heard that. But
yeah, I am more interested in this joint practice tomorrow than I am that preseason game on Sunday. Well, I got to say that I'm more interested to see how the Bears compete tomorrow in that joint practice than I am in that preseason game.
Yeah, we'll touch on that joint practice. I guess we can go ahead and dive into that since that's today, really.
Well, yeah, it's today at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be the first time the Bears, obviously under Ben Johnson, actually play another team competitively. And from all the practices we've seen make the news so far, Dustin, it's been a lot of skirmishes, a lot of fights, a lot of pushing and shoving. I'm guessing there's going to be some of that reported from the Bears camp tomorrow. They were fighting amongst themselves on that day that Ben Johnson let these guys play some actual football. But this is definitely where you're going to probably start to see who's leading those races, right? These position battles, the left tackle. I mean, it starts now. The Dolphins are not going to come soft in this practice. You know that. That's the way these guys
I hope there's a couple fights. That's what I want to see this Bears team fight their asses off against this team. That's what I want to see, man. For sure. And then Cliff says Tom Thayer thought Ben and Miami coach McDaniel would decide on starters after the joint practice. And J2K saying, I'm hearing the joint practice will be heavy starters and preseason game will be backups and position battles. That's kind of how these things tend to go, J2K. I mean, we'll see. If it were me, I want to see Caleb get some live reps. So I'm with you, Brandon. I would like to see him starting at least 1 or 2 drives just to see how he's doing.
Yeah, they had Joe Burrow out there who suffered injuries. Yeah, Joe Burrow.
But that's the thing. That's the thing in these preseason games and in these joint practices. You worry about injury. You just do. You don't want.
But
so
you worry about injury in practice. You worry about injury.
No doubt. But when you're playing against your guys, they're gonna go a little easier. so because they don't, they're.
I don't necessarily mean like somebody else injuring you. Just I mean, once these guys start to play football, man, like they will tomorrow at that practice, the making the wrong cut could tear a knee. You know what I mean? It's just. It's the nature of the beast.
We saw that with Rashawn Slater today with a non-contact injury, and he's out.
Ben Johnson is certainly not going to let these guys play soft tomorrow. He wants to see what they're made of. He wants to see what he's got. Like I said, this is where the men start to separate from the boys. I think Ben Johnson's going to push these guys pretty damn hard.
I think the Bears are going to beat the shit out of the Dolphins tomorrow in this joint.
So do I. I think they're going to dominate them.
I think the Dolphins are a little soft. I think the Bears have a lot to prove, and they got a lot to show, and they're going to come out like it's a game. And John S. says Bears need to be the bullies. Yeah, I agree, and I think they will be. Bear Review says that's why I hate joint practices, with that risk of injury, guys going a little harder. But as we're saying that, we're saying we think the Bears are going to go hard. I mean, listen, you keep the guy that keeps standing out about going hard in these practices for the Bears, man, and the guy that I am most excited about, the more I keep reading about these camp reports,
who you're going to say.
It's Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah.
It's Jaquan Brisker.
As Sean would say, Quanny B.
This motherfucker is just don't know how to play no other way. If they can keep him healthy, he's going to have a hell of a season. He is leading the charge with this defense by all accounts, man, and setting the tone every fucking practice. I am excited as shit about that, and I'm excited to see him blow somebody up tomorrow. I can't wait to see that clip where he blows somebody up and just stands over him. That's going to happen.
Brian Morgan says, I think the Finns are in trouble this year. Yeah, Brian, right before you jumped in, we kind of voiced our opinion on that. We both think
they're going to be bad.
Dolphins are going to tremendously underachieve this season, and then it's going to blow up, and I think Mike McDaniel might be back to being an offensive coordinator the following season. You guys going two tight end set heavy this year?
Fuck yeah.
Less than he did in Detroit, I think, and that's surprising people to hear.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you. I think as this all, of course you do. I think as this offense evolves and develops to the strengths of Caleb and the players on the roster, and as guys start to establish themselves, like a guy like Luther Burden, then you'll see that that transformation happen. I think Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland are two of the best players on your offense. And he's going to want them out there as much as possible. It's the best
tight end tandem in
the NFL. They're going to create major mismatches for defenses because you can line them up everywhere and you can find that mismatch, and that's going to be beneficial to Caleb Williams in this offense. So I think it might be heavier two tight end set than it was in Detroit, Brandon. It might be heavier. I was with you on this. Earlier on, but the more I see the way they're approaching these practices. And how much I know they want to get Colston Loveland involved and Cole Kmet, I think the two tight end set is going to be Caleb Williams' best friend this season.
I want to see Luther Burden,
of course, fuck yeah,
DJ Moore on the field at the same time.
You're going to see a good blend. You're going to see a good blend.
To be honest with you, Dustin, I want to see Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, DJ Moore, and Roma Dunze.
Yeah, I feel you. And I sent you that article today. Bleacher Report came out with it. It seems like every week some national media outlet is. I'm gonna do it. We have to do it. Some national media outlet comes out with who's the guy that should be on the trading block for every team in the NFL. And before I even get to the Bears, I know who the guy is. It's Cole Kmet. He is the guy that makes sense. He will be the odd man out in terms of just his contract, in terms of the fact that next year is like $3 million in dead cap on the salary. He's a $10 million guy this year. You just drafted a tight end at 10. Cole Kmet is the odd man out, I believe, in this situation. And national media pundits believe that for a reason. So, I do see that coming. And I think the Bears, I'll continue to say, I think the Bears should explore that very heavily this season before the trade deadline, because I'd rather get something for him than have him walk away for nothing. But while he's here, and with Ben Johnson and how much they love Cole Kmet, I think this is going to be a very interesting offense with those two tight ends on the field a lot.
Well, and J2K says something I also forgot to mention, which we've talked about on this show before, Dustin.
Exactly, J2K.
Loveland might be they might be in a 12-man set, but Loveland might be actually lined up.
Loveland will be your slot. Yeah. No, 100%. The variations that they can do with the skill set of these two tight ends, that's what makes it so intriguing, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because you can line them up anywhere.
Cole Kmet's a tight end.
Listen, when you heard Ben Johnson thinks more highly of Cole Kmet than we do. When you hear Ben Johnson talking about Cole Kmet, you can basically say he's talking about Colston Loveland. Hey, no, I agree with you, Brandon, but I'm just saying, they think very highly of Cole Kmet and his skill set. And maybe he was being underutilized. He definitely was being underutilized in this offense last year.
Cole Kmet is a good football player. He's a really good tight end, but he is just that. He's a tight end. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Anytime Cole Kmet's been used in any other facet of the game, I don't like it. They throw him back there as a fullback sometimes. I don't love that just because I don't want Cole Kmet getting injured, and those guys can because, they almost always do. But outside of that, we saw the screen passes to Cole Kmet with blockers in front of him. It went for a negative yards.
No, yeah, well, I don't want to see much more of that.
He's a tight end. That's what he is, and he does it pretty well.
He's not great with the ball in his hands.
Let the dude just be a tight end. Yeah, let him. Don't try anything.
Colston Loveland's going to be the guy you move around more often than not. But I'm just saying, having them both on the field creates a lot of opportunity for this offense in terms of finding a mismatch against that defense, and you can have a lot of fun with that. And I think Ben Johnson is going to, Brandon. And Brian Morgan said he thinks the Vikings are going to go a lot of two tight end as well. I mean, maybe TJ Hawkinson is in for like one of his regular years this year, back to form, because I think he's finally fully recovered from that injury and ready to roll. But we'll see how that goes for the Vikings. AC Adam in the building.
Cliff says, I'm reminded of New England's tight ends with Gronk and Hernandez. And Vizzo Joe says, yeah, Cliff, Hernandez killed it in the end zone. Wow. It's messed up, man. Hey, AC Adam, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining us. Please hit that like button, man. We were just generally talking Bears, I guess, man. We were talking about that joint practice, but
yes, Vizzo, that's the thing, right? Because both tight ends, the defense don't know whether to go big or small and how to match up. The Bears could pound the ball right down your throat if you go too light, and if you go too heavy, you can audible into a pass, and Colston Loveland is going to burn somebody. He'll have a mismatch with a smaller cornerback or a slower linebacker. Like, you'll find those often, and it's going to keep the defense on its heels as well. Like, it's going to be hugely advantageous for the Bears if they use it.
Well, and I'll tell you this right now: that Dolphins team don't have two guys that can handle those guys. So you're going to see it probably tomorrow in practice. To be honest, Tyler Warren had a good night. I got to prep for the Fools nagging.
Tyler Warren's a really good player. Like, if you can compare these two, for the rest of their careers, Brandon, but Tyler Warren was a very highly coveted player in the draft for a reason, because he had a damn good college career. He can be used in a lot of different ways.
It's about the scheme. It's about the scheme. So it's not about how much talent the kid has. He's good. He's going to be a good player even on a bad football team.
But I like Colston Loveland's chances of putting up better numbers this year over Tyler Warren, based on the fact that you got Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones as your quarterback.
Tyler Warren's a good football player this year, even on a bad team.
Yeah. So no, for sure, and he'll stand out because he's a good player. They'll find ways to get him involved. Colston Loveland is I think he's going to do the same. I think Ben Johnson is very intent on finding ways to get him involved, because he will be that matchup nightmare for the defense. That's why he was drafted at 10 over Tyler Warren. So it'll be a fun comparison all year, but they're both very good players.
Somebody just compared Colston Loveland to Sam Laporta. I mean, he's
well, I guess Colston said that he models his game after Sam Laporta and Nico Collins, which is an interesting. It's interesting. He's talking about a big outside receiver and a very quick, crafty tight end. So I mean, like,
route runner,
if he can become anything close to either one of those guys, that
and Jake,
he'll be good.
J2K says everybody was out about Warren. I would have liked if the Bears drafted Warren. I would not have been disappointed. I wasn't disappointed when they drafted Colston Loveland. I think a lot of Bears fans were, probably because of that. They didn't get Warren, but if the Bears had drafted Warren just the same as Loveland, I would have been just as excited, because, like I preached on the day of the draft, you just got to trust what Ben's doing, man. And he knew that Loveland fit his scheme more than Warren did. So I'm excited to see what Loveland does. And that, like you said, Dustin, Ben Johnson's going to find a way to make that guy get the ball. You know what I mean? And he's going to do things with it.
And until the trade deadline, guys, Cole Kmet will continue to be on those lists because it just makes sense. And that's not a knock against Cole Kmet. That is just the reality of the situation. Right? As I said, Brandon, before, like, if I was working at a company at a position and they fired the boss because he wasn't getting the job done, and they hired a new guy, and the first thing the new guy did was go hire someone at my same position that was younger, I'd be pretty concerned for my fucking job. I think we all would. So, like, it's just logical. It just makes sense.
Yeah, you think they're trading you. Your job.
Yeah, I'm training my replacement. That's what I would think.
And your job, you can only get fired. They can get traded in this league. So yeah, you're. I mean, I just don't listen. The thing, you hit the nail on the head right when you start talking about it, Dustin. It's the contract. It's the contract. That's what it's going to boil down to.
What up, Razzle?
It's a decent contract, especially if Cole Kmet starts this season out. It's a decent contract for another team to take on for a number one tight end. which is what he'll be on whatever team requires him. And it's not a decent contract if you're the Bears and you're paying this guy to be your tight end too.
Yeah.
The drafting of Colston Loveland put Cole Kmet's contract. It was the teeter that moved Cole Kmet's contract to the negative side of things for the Bears, man. I mean, that's
too unsustainable. Basically.
It was decent coming in the season. You drafted Loveland, and now you're looking at it like.
So now your options are let Cole Kmet play out his contract and walk for nothing, or find out that you got this really good guy that you drafted number 10 to be your starting tight end in your offense. Make sure that you have that and move on from Cole Kmet and actually get something back for him. In terms of how you manage your assets, there's only one smart way to go about that, in my mind. That's all that is. Just listening and staying out of the way, Razzle. Come on, man. We need you today. You're
just checking in, breathing on you. Yeah, nobody told you to stop leaving comments, Razzle.
Yeah, man. We want you in here.
Yeah, we appreciate you showing up, Razzle. Please hit that like button, man. We appreciate you. Like we said,
did we talk about
we debated? That's one of my favorite parts of doing this whole thing, man.
Did we talk about the Caleb thing enough? Did we move on from that properly? I don't remember, honestly. This is going by so fast.
I think so. I mean, I don't want to read too much into it. I thought it was just as strange as you did, and it's blowing up every week. Here's the thing, Dustin. Every day, something with Caleb Williams is blowing up. And listen, other guys are doing things negatively in training camps of whatever team they play for, and it's being reported. It's just not blowing up into a fucking meme or becoming viral. Everything Caleb Williams does has been viral, man. So yeah, I would love for that to stop being a thing, without a doubt.
Yeah. It's funny because as soon as I texted that to you guys, I saw it pop up on Bleacher Report, the same as you. I saw
it 30 times.
Like, Caleb says that it was fake anger. It stood out in a very strange way. Like I said, in terms of what you've heard from Caleb in the past and how he comports himself on at the podium versus how he did in that moment.
He's always so
very
unbothered.
out of character. Yeah, it was very out of. You could tell it's starting to get to him, man.
He's always so unbothered, and this was the first time where I saw him, and I was like, he looks kind of bothered, and he was fumbling over his words a little bit, man.
Yeah,
like
even the laugh that he had when the guy asked him the question felt a little forced and strange.
Well, or like he's buying himself time, And whenever I start answering a question with the same sentence 30 different ways, I don't have a good answer for your question yet, and so and just. Like you said, Dustin, the one thing that Caleb's always been is pretty genuine. It felt different from that. So I don't know.
So Brian says this: Loveland will never be able to block like Kmet, but Kmet will never run like Loveland. I think running back and tight end are coming back. On the Loveland thing, it's just on any player in general. Like if I could pick a player, whether if they're like this amazing mismatch, great route runner, awesome at contested catches and high pointing the ball, and then I got to teach them to block. I'd much rather do that than draft a guy that can block great, and then I got to teach him to do all those things that are pretty impossible to teach somebody to do. You know what I'm saying? Like Colston Loveland's a better blocker than he gets credit for, and that's something you can teach with technique. I cannot teach Cole Kmet how to be a monster after the catch. That's just something Colston Loveland has.
And on this show, you guys probably watched. There was a show where I said that I said that, and I said it as a statement, that Colston Loveland is a more talented player than Cole Kmet. I know it upset Sean and Kyle, but I mean, it's like saying Luther Burden is a more talented player than Dante Pettis. I mean, dude, there's just guys that can run faster and jump higher and do things better. Like physically, they're better than other people. And so listen, like Cole Kmet is a phenomenal route runner, and he'll make a career out of it for the rest of his days. He will be in the NFL until he's no longer able to play, man, because he's good at getting himself open. He's good at finding soft zones. He's really good in zone coverage. The problem is once Cole Kmet catches the ball, that's pretty much where the ball is. Colston Loveland provides you something else. He might not even be as sharp a route runner as Cole Kmet, but when he catches the ball, he's going to make things happen after the fact. And that's, to me, if you're paying this guy who catches the ball because he's a good route runner and finds the soft zone more than the guy who's doing that, you've got a problem on your football team, man. You've got a problem on your football team.
Vizzo says I must be weird then because I understood what he was trying to say, and he's talking about Caleb Williams. And listen, I think we all understood what he was saying. I'm not talking about what he said. I'm talking about the subtext. I'm talking about the body language, and I'm talking about just how forced it felt.
Justin's talking about the first time he had to defend himself. He's never cared. He's always seemed unbothered.
The fact that he went about doing that in the first place was just out of character and strange, Vizzo. That's what we're saying. And that says that his armor is breaking a little bit, and we don't want that for Caleb. That's really what we're saying. Obviously, he said what he said, and that was clear to understand. It's more about what was behind what he said and why he felt the need to even answer that stupid fucking question. Chicago media be throwing some dumbass questions at these people, man. Did you see what the Grady Jarrett, when he was like, I want to make this as, when I sent that one right after that?
Yeah, what was that? What was that quite like? Are you a teacher's
Are you basically just being a leader and paying attention in meetings because that's the personality? That's what you need to exemplify. And he's like, no, I just do what I do because that's how I go about my fucking business. And if that helps someone, that's great. And if it don't, I'm going to keep going about my fucking business the way I go about my business. And he's like, I really want to make that clear to you because the questions you keep
I don't want to pat on the back. That's what he said.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like, what kind of question was that? Yeah, it was strange. It was strange. This one I want to talk about, Brandon. He says, to be honest, I'm more concerned about Dio. Bear review, Walt. I just want to say that I think that this guy is kind of becoming like, and I understand the concern because they went out and paid him, but he's kind of becoming this forgotten man in the additions that were made to this defense this year. And he was handpicked by Dennis Allen for a reason. And I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this season.
J2K,
that's my feeling on it.
J2K said earlier, Deo is an expensive mystery. Well, he's an expensive project. And I agree with you, J2K. And I listen, I was thinking about this actually last night during Sean and Kyle's show when they were talking about Montez Sweat, and this defensive line on paper just isn't good. It's not. I'm sorry. If you stack it up to most of the defensive lines in the NFL, I think the Bears are still somewhere near the bottom.
It's very similar to the offensive line last year, Brandon, in that season. Yes. You're banking on a lot of ifs.
Yes,
like if
that's what I said. I said in their chat, this on paper, this line is not good to me. So if it's successful, it's because all the ifs worked. and
that's a lot to bank on in the NFL.
And Grady Jarrett's a good name to have on a list, but he's not the same Grady Jarrett you had on a list 8 years ago. You know what I mean? So,
but I like Grady because I think he makes the other guys better.
Because he's just about his business.
Yes,
so, exactly. we appreciate that here.
That's why I like Grady Jarrett on this team, Brandon. But not so much about the counting stats.
Dio, to me, guys, is a project. It's an expectation. That's what you hired you paid an expectation. You want Dio to become a better player and be a guy he hasn't been in his career over 4 years for you. Now, obviously, that means Ryan Poles and Dennis
It's a projection.
They saw potential, so they think it's in there, and they're thinking we're the guys who are going to get it out. I don't like doing that, and when you do that, it doesn't matter. Right now, the way it is, we haven't seen if Dio's going to be that guy, Dustin. Right now, it's not good on paper.
You need a lot of things to go kind of in the best case scenario direction in order for it to be good enough. You do, like, and that is the concern. Like Dio that projection needs to become reality on the field. Like Dennis Allen, this is a prototypical defensive end in a Dennis Allen system, and he sets the edge against the run, and he still ends up getting 5 or 6 sacks. And is that compliment to Montez Sweat, who also needs to, in his best case scenario, demands those double teams and still beats them and still gets pressure on the quarterback and is that dominant force at defensive end that you paid him to be. Like there's a lot. Grady Jarrett, beats Father Time. Shamar Turner
takes a step forward.
Javon Texter takes the step. Like it's
Billings
all
stays healthy
and potential.
Yeah.
Shamar Turner gets healthy and actually makes an impact in his rookie season, which it happens with defensive linemen. But again, it's all ifs. So I get what you're saying, but I personally think Dio is going to fit really well in this Dennis Allen system, and I think he is going to be what they want him to be within this defense. I don't know if it's going to be flashy, but I think it's going to be successful. I guess I'll say that.
J2K says, I agree. There's a lot of assenting talent on the D line.
Accenting, like they complement each other well.
But how much do they improve? And that is the question, J2K, and that will dictate how good this defensive line is, because you know what the guy Montez Sweat, Javon Dexter, Andrew Billings, Grady Jarrett, you know what they are, and they probably Grady Jarrett's probably the only one who's been good enough.
Well, you know what their floor and their ceiling is at this time.
And then everybody else is hope.
I mean, Austin Booker is a guy we didn't mention yet.
Hope.
Yeah.
It's just hope. That's all it is. So
that's a guy I want to see perform.
I don't like banking on that, guys.
I want to see Austin Booker on the field as much as possible this Sunday, and I want to see him perform really well. Not I don't mean sacks, but I want to see him getting in the quarterback's face.
So I guess our second storyline would be Austin Booker, and that's why I put him on the thumbnail, Dustin. Is I would like to see him. And
I didn't even notice that.
And I don't like he's. We don't need to see 4 sacks. Like, I don't need to see, the numbers don't matter. Okay. What I need to see is that he is just a force in the backfield. I want him to be consistently in the quarterback's mind.
Applying pressure.
Yes. That's what I want. I want him to dominate the backfield, whether or not he gets home and gets the sacks.
Whoever he's going up against.
That will develop. Yeah. But I want to see him wreaking havoc. And that will give me a little bit of faith that Austin Booker's on his way to being the guy they draft him to be.
I have very high hopes for Austin Booker. That was a draft pick that I wanted the Bears to make, and I when they drafted the punter, I was like, well, now there goes that. But then they traded back into the draft to get Austin Booker specifically because he does have a very special skill set in terms of his physical abilities, of a very specific set of skills. I know what you're doing. I'm led to believe that these are only for kids. Do you want to watch that?
Nobody will follow me.
Do you want to watch this Naked Gun remake with Liam Neeson?
No.
I am extremely intrigued by it. I got to be honest. I think it's going to be fucking good, man. Like, I think Liam
I just watched an interview with the director of the original Naked Guns, and the person interviewing him is like, "This is the script, right, that you wrote for this Naked Gun film, Naked Gun 4?" And the director of the original films is like, "Yes." And he's like, "But this is not what people are going to go watch with the new Naked Gun." And he's like, "No." So somebody wrote their own version of a new Naked Gun, and it was produced over the original directors. So I'm not excited about that, man. It looks crap.
He did mean ascending. You were right, Brandon. J2K did mean ascending. Okay.
I thought so. It felt
accenting makes sense though, because like they complement each other. I don't know. I just kind of that's what
I guess both words work. You said it best, J2K. Both words work. Anything else with the joint practice, Dustin, that you feel needs to be spoken about?
I think it's Jaquan Brisker. I think it's Jaquan Brisker setting the tone for this defense, and I want to see that. I want to see Tyreek Stevenson battling whoever he's across from and really getting in their face and getting in their head, and I want to see some chippiness, man. I want to see this team put their chest out and just say, hey, we're gonna dominate y'all today. That's what I want to see.
Cohesiveness in the offensive line. Whatever 5 are out there, man. I want to see a line. I don't want to see the breaks we've watched for the last 3 years when this guy's
leaving those gaps open for a guy to step through. Yeah.
I don't want to see players blocking themselves. They're on your respective teammates. I want to see
doing it in unison.
I want to see one solid unit protecting my quarterback. That would be the first time we've seen that in a few years, for sure. And I'm not.
No, yeah, that's extremely important, especially like we said, because you still haven't nailed down the starting 5 yet. So like you want to see them start to gel and at least the 4 out of the 5, and
that Justin, I don't think
one strong unit. That's important.
Now that you say it, I don't know that you can delegate who your left tackle should be until those 4 are working as a unit. I don't know that you're going to find your answer at who your left tackle is until the other 4 are all one cohesive unit. I firmly believe that. So hopefully that starts in joint practice today. But
by all accounts, the offense has been looking better since that shit show at Family Fest. And a lot of people came away from Family Fest. Dave Wanstead said that he came away thinking the offensive line is legit, and that Ozzie is legit. So I mean,
I love Wani, dude.
Yeah, me too. So I mean, like if he's saying it, I put some credence to what he's saying, and like he came away saying that offensive line was getting movement in the run game. It's not like they were knocking guys 5 yards back, but they were getting movement and opening up some holes. So like, And if Ozzie was a part of that and he can continue to be, then you start to feel a little better about this offensive line. And that's something we need. We need to see in these preseason games and these joint practices, because we just don't know yet. We saw a shit offensive line all last year. We know it's massively improved on paper, but we got to see it on the field. So yeah, that's a big one to watch, Brandon.
When we talk so much about Ben Johnson being a new head coach and Caleb learning a new system and how this is all going to take time, if Braxton Jones is replaced by Ozzie Chapillo, this is an entirely new, besides Darnell Wright. I mean, this is 4 players out of 5 that have never played in a Chicago Bears uniform during a regular season, man. So that's going to take time. And I want to start to see it in this joint practice tomorrow, because that'll let you know that by the regular season, it might be where it needs to. If it's a fucking wreck tomorrow or today,
we're farther away than we would like to acknowledge. Yes. The thing I want to see the most, Brandon, more than anything, is a very strong connection between Caleb and Rome just cooking cornerbacks out there in one-on-one matchups.
Yes, and these are things
I want to see
practice
that
for sure. But in this game on Sunday, if these starters are given a chance, I want to see the starters come out and dominate this fucking Dolphins team.
Yeah, a nice quick drive down the field
Touchdown,
that ends in a score. Get them out, move on to next week. Yes, 100%. And I just really want to see Rome stand out against those Miami cornerbacks in the practice tomorrow and in the game if he plays. I don't know if he's going to or not, but like the practice is what I'm focused on the most in terms of this week, that joint practice. And I want to see Rome just dominating whoever's across from him. Anytime he gets a one-on-one, he wins it. Whether or not he gets the ball is a different thing, but that's why I want to see that connection between him and Caleb, because I think that's going to be huge this year, man. And I want to see that the fruits of their labor are paying off in terms of the work they've been putting in between those two.
Yeah, and I'd really just like to see that Ben Johnson's offense is working against this Miami defense. I don't think that this Miami defense is loaded with talent. I know they just traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick, which, good on them. He's a phenomenal player.
He's a fucking hell of a player.
He's better than the player that they lost. I do like Phillips, the edge rusher, the linebacker. I don't really love anyone else on this defense. I think this is, like we said earlier, Dustin, I think this is going to be a bad football team this season, and I think Ben Johnson's offense needs to come, like, put a hurting on this defense. I think they do, and that'll
leave no doubts.
That'll let me know
leave no doubts
where they are in learning this offense. You know what I mean? If it all works.
Yeah. But I mean, like, again, they did the preseason 0 simulation with this Family Fest thing, and the offense came out and was not good, and so like that's a fear. Like if they come out tomorrow against this NFL defense for the Miami Dolphins and they aren't performing, well, and that's just going to create more doubt. I don't want them to leave us with any, man.
See, this is where I'm going to lean away from tomorrow's practice and focus on this preseason game. I know it gets sloppy, man, and things just look, it's not, you can tell when you're watching 4 stringers and 3rd stringers and 2nd stringers, but listen, Ben Johnson's offense will be the same no matter which unit's out there, the 1s, the 2s. I want to see his offense through 4 quarters of a preseason game move the fucking chains. Yes. No matter who's commanding it. I want to see it work. I want to see it work. I want to think that's the Ben Johnson from Detroit, man. That's the offense that the defenses are just too overwhelmed by. I want to see that shit.
Yeah. So, and Brian Morgan says, hit the like. We haven't said that in a while. Thank you, Brian, for throwing that out there, Brian. Guys. I don't know what the likes are at, but let's get them up. If you're in here, hit that like button. Let us know what you think, what you want to talk about. We got a little more time with y'all, so we'll get into whatever y'all want to get into. Brian, a Vikings fan, checking into a Bears podcast and saying, hit the like. That's a good man.
Yeah.
That's a good man.
No, we appreciate you, brother. Yeah.
If we want to get beyond the stars a little bit, I know Austin Booker is a guy that's not a starter, but I think it's important that he sets the trend for how the season's going to go this week. And the other one, like I'm interested in seeing, Brandon, if we're talking about it still, is Tyson Bagent and Case Keenum. Like who kind of establishes themselves there. I know Ben Johnson has been speaking real highly of Tyson. I think Tyson is the second quarterback on this team, but I don't think that that's just guaranteed. And these guys are obviously going to get the most playing time at that quarterback position. So I'll be
Kyle and Sean
see how both of them perform.
Kyle and Sean did not give a good testament when they went to Family Fest on Tyson Bagent. They said he looked like he was lost on the field.
Which is how he looked to me in the games that he played. I know people were very happy with him in those games, but I just never saw it. But I don't think Case Keenum is just better than him either. So I think the backup quarterback position is a very concerning position on this team overall.
I put no, I agree with you, and I don't know that either one of them is the answer. If Caleb was actually to be injured, I don't love the situation in Chicago. Like I said, I think they're ranked between 15 and 20. Somebody did a backup QB situation ranking.
Really, that high? No fucking way.
I think they were like 18 or something like that, man. But I don't know, man. There's some teams with guys you've never even fucking heard of. Like I know Tyson Bagent is actually as undrafted in Division II he is. People now know who he is because the guy had to play 4 games in the NFL.
Meaningful games, yes.
There's teams that have two backup quarterbacks that have never played a snap in the NFL, and that's a problem to have. But there's the guys that I put on this thumbnail, man. We talked about Ozzie Pillow. He's up there at front and center. We talked about Austin Booker a little bit. We talked about Colston Loveland. I put Roschon Johnson on there, Dustin, because I don't think DeAndre Swift's going to play in this game.
What's up, Phil?
Game. I think even if you put the starters out there on the field, I don't think DeAndre Swift plays in this football game. I think Roschon Johnson and Common.
Well, Roschon didn't practice today, so what's that tell you? Is he going to be out there tomorrow?
No, when I read the whole Darnell Wright walked off the field thing, it sounded like it was like, all right, there was a few minutes left in practice, and it sounded like they were like, you know, if something's hurting, just go ahead and call it. I think today was a really light day, man. I think Sean and Kyle said they expected it to be when they were talking about it. I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, probably will.
Well, they were in shells today. They just had a couple. They just had a couple really physical practices the last couple.
And you know what's coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
you know it. The Dolphins aren't going to come out soft, and Ben Johnson's not going to want to see that from his own football team. So it's going to get hairy tomorrow. I truthfully believe that. So yeah, I this preseason game, man, I think DeAndre Swift sits out. I think Roschon Johnson and Common on guys split the carries, and I want to see that person establish themselves. If Roschon Johnson ends up being the guy that Sean thinks he can be, and I'm not going to say he's not. If Ryan Poles,
guy's the guy I got my eye on of those two for sure.
If Ryan Poles drafted this guy thinking he really was the best running back, other than the guy he played behind in college, like I want to see something from him. And yeah, Kyle Monungai's an exciting player. It's just exciting to read about Kyle Monungai, the draft pick itself.
He's putting in the work.
Yeah, by the 6th round, I was like, it looks like they're not going running back, and then they took this guy, and I became intrigued. So, I want to see that. I want to see that in the preseason game. I want to see one of them dominate. That'd be awesome to see one of those guys just take off, man.
John S. says, what are week 1 against the Vikings predictions? I said earlier, the Bears are going to win that game. I'm not ready with the score prediction yet, John. Tune in before that game.
I've talked about this a lot. I like that Vikings defense. I like the roster overall. I think the Bears win that football game because, guys, if you go back and look at rookie quarterbacks and their overall record in their very first game, it's very lopsided in a bad way for the quarterback. Like, I forget what it is. It's like 60-something%, or even maybe in the 70s.
I think McCarthy's going to have a rough time.
Lose their debut. So,
yeah. Sorry, Brian, but yeah, I just think the Bears take that one. I think McCarthy is going to need a little bit of time, and I think the Bears will be more ready. But I mean, and not having Addison is a big deal for that Vikings team.
And I think the Bears are going to get after that quarterback, man. I mean, if Dennis Allen's is as intelligent as we've preached that he is since we've made this hire, my game plan is to get after the rookie quarterback when I'm approaching that week 1.
We got Phil in here.
Going on, Phil?
J2K says a lot of rookie backup QBs from this last draft class. Saw a few of them play tonight, Leonard and Milroe. Yeah, and I like both of those guys more than other people. I think Milroe ends up.
Yeah, and we're seeing Joe Milton's name mentioned awful lot.
Yeah, Milton looking good. He's the training camp darling. That's been fun to watch him just chucking. He can throw a deep ball. That's the one thing you knew for sure he had in spades. So like, I
liked him at Tennessee, man. I didn't think they took the leash off. They would have him throw. He would throw like 30 screen passes a game.
Well, I mean
they won football games doing it.
They had Trey Lance, and nothing ever really came of that either. So I mean, like, I kind of similar those two in terms of their skill set to me. Monungai was a great pick. I watched a lot of him. Yeah, I think Monungai. I'm again. Listen, no knock against Roschon. I just don't think in the opportunities he's had, he's shown enough to where he deserves to have the table pounded for him. He's just
not even that. just not sure there's anything else in there because
Yeah, I mean, his skill set is a skill set. If he provides something more, if he develops his game and comes out more well rounded this year, I'm all for it, man. I'd love to see someone establish themselves in that role, Brandon, like you said. And we've continually talked about this, but Manungai is a guy I got my eye on. I want to see what he does in this game. That's for sure.
Manungai
is legit. I got my Manungai on him. Yeah, that's fine. What else we got? You got anything else?
Got some headlines or deadlines, man. I think I'm going to exclude one of them because we already kind of beat it up.
What was it? What are you talking about?
I said I got my.
No, yeah, I understand, but you said you're going to leave one out. I'm just curious which one that is.
Hold on, let me pull it up here.
All right, yeah. Well, we'll all just wait on you, Brandon. We got all the time in the world.
Well, it signs out when you don't keep it active, man. It's one of those automatic sign outs.
I got an automatic sign out too.
Nice.
You're not keeping me active. Are you guys getting concerned with all these injuries taking place? It's only preseason. I think the Bears have been pretty goddamn lucky compared to some other teams throughout the league. Other players going down.
And I kind of touched how I felt about that. I think the Bears, especially today, were telling guys like something not feeling you've hurt something's hurting. Go ahead, take a call today. Get the hell off the field. Like I didn't think they were going to push anybody too hard today, man. All right, headlines or deadlines, guys. If you think I'm going to pitch a topic, if you think it's legit, it's a headline. If you think it's not a chance, it's a deadline. Case Keenum will be the most successful Bears quarterback at commanding the offense on Sunday.
Case Keenum will be the most successful Bears quarterback at commanding the offense on. I mean, it depends on if Caleb Williams plays, but I mean, like that's generally the case with these preseason games. That's how you see it. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. I just naturally do this shit. It just happens. No, yeah, I'll say that's a headline. I was thinking about how this is basically just legit or bullshit. It's evolved. I was just thinking about that when you were talking, Brandon. But yeah, no, I think that's probably a headline for Case Keenum because he's a guy that is a veteran and knows how to make the right play, and he's going to be playing against fucking third stringers, so he's gonna look the best of all these quarterbacks. I could see a high probability of that.
I have headline. I think that Case Keenum's played in a lot of different offensive schemes. He's been doing this for a long time. He's going to be comfortable in the preseason because it's nothing to him. It means a lot more to a younger guy, I think, and I think he's going to come out smooth. And Ben Johnson's going to be. I think Case Keenum will learn quicker how to be the extended mind of his offensive coordinators.
He's probably already got that down. And Vizzo Joe says deadline. And J2K says, who are you excited to see in the first preseason game? I'll start Will linebacker Carl Jones Jr. Listen, I'll throw out Major Burns. I am very interested in safety depth on this team. And I want to see I like that guy in college. I know he's an undrafted free agent, so you don't expect much, but like I think the safety position is concerning if you think about Jaquan Brisker's potential health issues. Jonathan Owens, we saw him have to play in a starting role last year, and he did not acquit himself well. We know Kevin Byard can do whatever, and he's a pro's pro, and I got no concerns about him. But I would like to see some safety depth established on this team that's better than Jonathan Owens and Elijah Hicks. So I'd like to see what Major Burns does.
I'm excited to watch Luke Newman. All the attention is on Ozzie Trapillo because he's possibly fighting for a start. He's fighting for a starting job at a very important position. I think Luke Newman is going to be a really good player, guys, and I think he's a guy who could even win a starting job. I think he's a consummate pro. I think they've already said the way he handles himself. The guy's nothing but professional. And I think
he'll be a starter in this league.
Multiple positions. Yes. And I think he can play your center if you need him to. And I think he can really play guard. And I when he comes on the field in the later half of that game, I'm going to be very focused on how he performs, man.
And he might just be gifted a starting role this year if Jonah Jackson can't stay healthy. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, he's your swing interior offensive lineman.
Not a chance. With his most recent question.
I mean, he still has not even been.
He hasn't practiced once.
Been there to practice.
He was at rookie mini camp in June or whatever that was. But
Vizzo says Hippolyte. I like that one. Hippolyte will be interesting. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Headline or deadline, Dustin? Winning on Sunday matters in context to this team more so than it did in the past.
Deadline. I don't give a fuck about preseason.
No, not to you. I mean to them.
No, deadline. If they shouldn't give a fuck about winning or losing in preseason. They should be worried about getting their reps in and doing it the right way. I don't put any merit into that personally, and I don't know that the team should either. I'll say deadline.
Yeah, and it's like you can always go 3-0 in a preseason and be an awful football team. I do think this though, man. It means
I know the Ravens have consistently done awesome in the preseason, and that usually translates to success in the regular season.
I think it speaks to your depth a little bit, but yeah.
What do you say?
It's a deadline. I don't think it matters. Well, if it matters to anyone, man, it's going to matter to Ben Johnson, and not because of the record. Like, we're 0-1. It's going to matter. Like, it doesn't matter who's on my football field. We need to be.
We didn't perform well enough to win. Yeah.
But I'll say deadline. Like, I don't think to the players, they're not going to go to the locker room disappointed if they feel like they did their best, especially individually.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you had guys that played their asses off and your starters acquitted themselves well in whatever limited playing time they had, I think there's some stuff you can feel good about and not really give a shit about winning or losing in a preseason.
Yeah, it's one of those games where, like, the starters come out for 2 drives and score back-to-back touchdowns, and then in the fourth quarter, the Bears are down by 6 touchdowns. You'll still see Caleb Williams on the sideline with a smile on his face, joking around. You know what I mean? Because they went out, that first unit went out there and did their fucking job, dude.
Razzle's in a very zen mode tonight. Sometimes it's good to just listen, he says. Confucius says.
Well, somebody said Dustin sounds like Felon Salma, so yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's worth a listen. My deep gravy.
All right, this one I have to change.
Soothing.
Yeah. Take it easy, Barry. Yeah.
Voice.
Ben stated that he'd like to see the left tackle position determined by the end of the second week of preseason. Whichever player
I thought that's what he said.
I changed it after you. I'm changing it in my head after you.
Maybe
whichever player starts at left tackle for the second preseason game is the Bears starting left tackle.
No, deadline. I don't know that. Listen, I think we've watched enough off-season football and gone through all the headlines and tried to jump to conclusions and realize how fucking wrong we were once the regular season started to say that that's a headline. I think I think you'll know when they announce it, and I don't know if that's gonna be dictated by who starts in that second game. I think it's going to come down to who plays the best when they get their opportunity, and we'll just have to see that with our eyes. And hopefully what we see, Brandon, and what we think is the best player is the guy that is that player that Ben Johnson picks. That's
and I think like if Ozzie Japil comes out and just doesn't get moved, you're gonna know that Braxton Jones just
and Braxton comes out and looks like he's on skates the next week, and then they're like, Braxton's the starter,
pushed into Caleb's lap.
That'll be a problem. So I mean, and listen, I just don't want to. It's every year we jump to conclusions in the off season based on something that happens one week, and by the time week 1 of the regular season comes, it's all opposite of what we thought. So like I don't know that I could say that would be a headline just because of who started in that second week. I don't know how Ben Johnson's approaching this. We don't know what Ben Johnson's plan is. He hasn't told us.
J2K asked who Razzle's player to watch is. He hasn't answered that.
And then Razzle says sometimes it's good to just listen. That's what I was saying. He's in a zen mode tonight. He's very, very chill.
All right. I've asked you this one before, and headline or deadline. The day I found
Brandon, you're breaking up, but I'm sorry. What are you saying? What's the headline deadline?
I made this. We've done this one before. I made it the day I found out who their joint practice was with, which was months ago. Tyreek Stevenson and Tyreek Hill will have an altercation during today.
I mean, if Tyreek Hill practices, I mean, you're hearing some stuff that he might not, as Cliff pointed out earlier. So, I mean, but yeah, they definitely got those personalities that will lend themselves to some extracurricular activities, Brando. So, like, Tyreek is a guy that's always going to push the boundaries with the guy across from him, I think, and Tyreek Hill is a guy that won't take that shit and he'll push it right back to you. So I hope if they're both on the field across from each other, that's what we see. We see both of those personalities come out because that'll be something very intriguing about those practices tomorrow. So I'll say headline if that's a matchup we're looking at.
I'm saying headline. I think for sure we're gonna read something, even if it's just this like he up the hell like the face I suppose like we're gonna read something. We're gonna right. Headline or deadline. The starters should all
Oh
team
fuck, Brandon!
should play.
This is not a good time for your shit to go on. I'm sorry. I got nothing from you, brother.
The Bears starters, every starter should play one full drive.
In this game coming up? Yes, I'm imagining you're talking about this game coming up. Yes, I'll say that's a headline, Brandon. That I would like to see. I would like to see these guys get some live reps in this game come Sunday. That's what I would like to see. I think it's important when you got a lot of new players on your team. You got a brand new coaching staff, and you got a second-year quarterback that's trying to learn a new offense. So I want to see everybody, get some action in this game. I would say that's a headline.
I would as well. I think they should play a little more personally, but yeah, I think they should as well, Dustin. And all right, we're gonna do it, man, just for the hell of it, because I think Sean put it in the description. So I'm gonna you start us off. Give a prediction, a game score.
Fuck. Seriously? For preseason week 1. All right, listen, I'll say Bears 32, Dolphins 22 and a half. I don't know, man. The Bears will win it, I think. But, again, I don't give a shit who wins. So, doing a prediction feels hollow. I just want to see the Bears, come out with that physicality and that mentality that we're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. That's really all I want to see. And my prediction is that you'll see that. You'll see the Bears do that against this Dolphins team that I just don't have a lot of faith in this year. And I think the Bears need to assert their dominance. That's what I'll be looking to see. And my prediction is blood.
Blood?
Yes, blood. I ain't got time to bleed.
Phil threw a score in there. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, Phil, you're participating a little
bit. J2K threw it in there too. Tyson goes nuclear. Yeah, you know what?
Shit. 47 to 21.
I don't love the Bears. I don't love the Dolphins starting roster at all.
Yes,
so I
Phil.
think their depth. I would imagine that just implies their depth is even worse. So I'm with J2K. I think when the backups come play the backups, this is where the Bears will excel. But I have them winning by. Listen, I want the new kid Kim or whatever is this kicker. I want him to kick a game winner from 60. That's why I want that game to end. So I'm gonna say 27-24.
Bears dominate the line of scrimmage and assert their will against this team, and I think the Bears win it. I guess I don't know. Sure. It's a preseason game, guys. It's a fucking preseason. Nobody gets hurt. That's my hope. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody comes out of this thing okay. Yeah.
Great. Now if somebody gets hurt, I'm gonna remember this moment right now. No, I don't. I just like you said, doesn't. I do think the Dolphins are bad. So I just want to see the Bears not just come out and look good. I want to see them dominate this team. I really do. I think it's going to be a bad football
and if
team.
they don't, guys, the sky's not falling yet and still.
No, it is.
That's very important to mention and note. It's a preseason game, so and this is still a work in progress. If the Bears don't come out and dominate,
J2K says this is Bajan's Super Bowl. Kids dialed in. Yeah, he grinded his face off. J2K grinded his face off. for this.
That's
one.
the Phil. Thank you for throwing that out there, man. Just smooth in their operation on the offensive side of the ball. I want to see that. Like the penalties need to not be there. How many years can we go as Bears fans and have a good drive going, and then it gets killed by a false start penalty or an illegal shift or some stupid bullshit because they're not prepared? Like I want to see that this team is prepared for the game. Like that's what I want to see, that the coaching that we think and believe is so fucking good and so much improved from last year actually has an impact on this football team where they come out disciplined and prepared to play professional football and not make stupid fucking mistakes. That's what I want to see. Thank you, Phil.
Pretty low bar.
Listen, it's the preseason.
No,
I just want to see smooth operation.
I'm giving you shit because that it's the truth, man. It's been so dysfunctional. Yes. To get back to some normalcy would just feel professional to me, to be honest with you. Yeah, like I said, the cohesiveness of the unit of the entire offensive line would be coaching. I mean, that'd be a reflection of coaching. We haven't seen that. So, like, if we see that with 4 new guys on the line, it says to me the coaches are doing something right. You know what I mean? And you see these hard practices. I would love to see these guys come out hitting.
3 new guys on. Well, I guess 4 if you're talking about Ozzy too. Yeah, you're right.
Love to see these guys come out and play football against this Dolphins team, even in the preseason. I want to see these guys who are fighting for jobs go out there and fucking play football, man, and hit these guys. And I want to see
discipline.
I want to see the fruits of the labor. Yes,
football.
I want to see what Ben Johnson just did in that practice yesterday. I want to see that against another team. Like, these guys were getting in. The Bears players were fighting each other, man. I mean, that got heated, dude.
I just come ready. Just show me you're ready, and then that you're going about your business. That's what I want to see. Like, just smooth operation. Brian, what's your prediction for Week 1? Vikings at Bears, Soldier Field, Monday Night Football. What do you got, Brian? How much do you think the Vikings are going to win by, being that you're one of those, you're representing the purple? What do you got? Throw it out there. And everybody else in the chat. I mean, John S. asked us, what do we think is going to happen Week 1? What do y'all think is going to happen Week 1? Are we confident that this team's going to come out rolling and ready to go? I mean, again, it's preemptive to talk about because we haven't gone through the preseason yet.
We're gonna do a whole show on Thursday, the week before that game, about it. But
no, we're gonna talk about it, and we'll have our
they're leading up to that game, guys. This is I love this time of the year, not just because of football, but because we get to do preview and recaps. That's my favorite part. When the season starts, man, we can do those Monday night or Monday shows after the game on Sunday, and we can do those bare minimum and actually talk about some real football games, man. So,
and what's
I'm excited to do that with you, Dustin.
What's good about us is no matter if it's a win or a loss, it's going to be an interesting show because it gets pretty passionate. When they lose, it gets pretty passionate. And when they win, it does as well. So either way, you're going to see that. Vizzo says McCarthy been looking bad at camp. KOC been getting frustrated. They're worried about him. I think there's legit worry about him. He's going
the Lions
take more
and
time
Vikings,
than they expected.
even the Packers. The NFC North is not reporting good things from camp across the board.
Yeah,
I believe the Packers cut 2 players that were like that bad in camp. Like, this guy's not it. I mean, you're talking about in training camp. Like, you got to be pretty bad, man. But yeah, the Vikings. McCarthy, I saw some of it. He's throwing picks. He's throwing aired passes. I mean, it's just
could this be a more Fargo Minnesota answer? Gosh, it's gonna be close. It just reminds me of William H. Macy and Fargo. Like the way, could that be a more Minnesota Vikings fan answer? Brian, we love you. You think 24-20 Vikings? Okay, that's fair. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a competitive game. We will find out. And I'm just giving you shit, man. But yeah, just the gosh kind of gave me William H. Macy vibes. Phil says Bears 27, Vikings 23. Another close.
Brian thinks the Bears are able to score against that Vikings defense.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Brian. He's just playing into my stereotypical mind and how it works. I got you. I'm going to go eat a Polish sausage after we get off here.
Eat a pierogi.
Dick sausage. And
what else? First off, man, I think that's about it, man. But John, Brian, J2K, thanks for coming out again, man. I haven't seen you in a while. AC Adam as well. It's been a while, man. Phil.
Don't forget
as
about
always.
Razzle. He was
Razzle, yeah,
chilling in the chat.
being a pacifist tonight.
Yeah.
I'll take you all the same. Bruce was in here earlier.
The Bear Review.
Bear Review, yeah. Fizzo Joe. Guys, we appreciate you. Much love. That's all I got.
Listen, man.
I'm excited to see the highlights from tomorrow's practice for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I just want to say, like, it's been a heavy week in my household. My wife's brother passed away tragically, very young, 25 years old, in a car accident. It's very sad, man. And we're going through it over here. And I just appreciate your family. Reach out to your mom, your brother, your sister, everybody. You never fucking know when some stupid crazy shit's gonna happen that's completely out of control. This life is fragile, man. So that's just on my mind a lot. Really, and I gotta do better at it myself too. But appreciate the ones you got. Tell them you love them. Make sure you hug them every time you get the opportunity. And yeah, life is hard that way, guys. So just call somebody up and tell them you love them. Shoot them a text.
Guys are throwing you a bunch of love, Dustin. Sorry to hear that. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, no, it's hard on my wife more than anything.
Prayers. Thanks, guys. That's awesome.
It's a tragic thing, and we'll be celebrating his life and doing the services all this weekend. So, but again, just an overall message to everybody: just love the ones you got. Make sure they know it, because you just never know.
Well said, man. And again, give your wife my condolences, and I apologize.
I shall, man. I'll give her everybody's.
And I expect
we appreciate all of y'all.
Expect nothing less from these guys in the chat, man. I mean, it's just a cool community.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yep.
It really is, guys. We love you. We sincerely love you, man. Hit the like, guys. Hit that subscribe.
Brandon,
keep
I love you,
showing
bud.
up, guys. Keep throwing shit in the chat. Keep chatting with us. Keep this show moving forward, man.
Yep. I'd like the record to show that I just told Brandon I love him and he ignored me. So now I'm feeling
love you too, buddy.
But seriously.
No, much love, man. Always a blast doing this show, man. Again, I can't wait till the season starts, man. Those shows get even funner. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dustin. Been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, man.
We'll be back Saturday.
Saturday, Northside 9, yeah.
Saturday at noon now, Northside 9, guys. Sean and Kyle get you caught up on the Cubs. We are all back on Monday for the Halas Hall Hangover. The four of us will discuss probably what we saw in the Bears preseason game against the Miami Dolphins, what we liked, what we didn't. Kyle, Jay, and Sean will be back Wednesday at 7 o'clock for the Barely There, and then we're back, guys, at 11:30 next Thursday. Thanks again for joining us, guys. This was the Bare Minimum 4-Star Chicago Sports. I am Brandon. That is Dustin.
Bear down.
Bear down.